Welcome, everyone, to Drunk Bible Study Bonus Edition, where we are talking about some of the stuff that Isaiah was talking about, and we don't really know what he was referring to too much. Things like nudity, hammocks,
fair amount
stuff
of nudity.
like that.
Yes.
So, Jace, do you want to tell us about 3 years of nudity?
100 years of solitude and nudity.
3 years of nudity.
Okay, so this was a tricky one to look up and get anything actually interesting. Specifically, though, there was someone on Quora who asked, why did the Lord have Isaiah walk around naked for 3 years? And at least the most upvoted answers, if that's how Quora works, I actually don't know how this site works, a lot of them are like so ardently trying to defend this idea that he wasn't actually naked. Like the people on this site who are just so upset by the idea that Isaiah might have actually been naked, and they feel the need to write many, many, many paragraphs explaining why he was not actually naked, and instead was either in tattered clothes or maybe just his underwear or something.
What underwear?
It says naked. He was naked.
Yeah,
They
man.
just cannot.
They are like
people.
really bending over backwards, and they're so upset by the concept. And now this also apparently is backed up in some of the like rabbinical writings that kind of clarify he wasn't naked, and making the argument that based on the Torah's standards for modesty, he couldn't have been all the way naked, or he would have been rejected and made a false prophet. But I'm like, I don't know, guys. It seems pretty clear that he was naked. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, that instead of answering the actual question, they all just really focused on how much he was not actually naked.
Wow, that's really surprising to me.
Yeah.
I did not at all think that was going to be the thing we were going to cling on to, was like really making sure that people don't get too freaked out by nakedness.
Too
but
excited about the nakedness.
I guess that's where we're at. Huh.
Yeah, and there does seem also in this forum, I haven't taken a deep dive because there's a lot going on here, but there also seems to be a bit of a conflict between Jewish respondents and non-Jewish respondents about this, partly revolving around this whole nudity thing. So it's
What about it?
just whether or not he was naked, I guess.
Okay.
And so there's kind of a like, well, okay, a lot of people are answering this who aren't Jews, so like let me step in here and try to set the record straight. So there's definitely some kind of conflict here. Like I said, it's a very long thread with lots of very long responses, and I have been drinking and am not like doing a deep dive into this drama. But anyway, definitely interesting that this
That's
is
wild.
Yeah. That there's clearly a hot topic. Maybe for someone
Seriously.
else's more serious podcast.
Well, to continue on the non-serious parts, we're going to talk about hammocks for a bit here.
Ooh.
And I'm going to question whether or not hammocks really existed back in this time period.
Really?
Because from everything that I've read, hammocks only evolved into what we think of them as 1,000 years ago by the Mayan civilization, and that they really were designed and created and came about in Central and South America. So
In like 1000 AD, around that era?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a long time
It says
after where we are
traced
now.
back nearly 1,000 years ago to the Mayan civilization.
I wonder if this was a weird translation, if there was something
Maybe?
just different.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure if either of you can find more, but yeah, basically the history of hammocks is that it comes from a Taino culture Arwakan word meaning fishnet. And it
I guess that makes
originated in
sense.
Central America. Yeah, and it can be traced back nearly 1,000 years ago to the Mayan civilization. And they were served, they were not designed for leisure first, but instead served as protection. The suspended beds safely kept hammockers away from dangerous creatures and insects in warmer climates. That makes sense.
Yeah.
True. It's
And I
true.
guess Christopher Columbus found them when he discovered the Americas and brought them back to Europe. So that's kind of fun.
They were all the rage.
Indeed, yeah.
That was The one good thing that he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Maybe.
but
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean,
Having slept in a hammock, I don't know if it really was that good of a thing.
No, there's a hammock technique though.
I know.
Oh,
You and I
yeah?
talked about this.
I swear by it. And
I
like there
don't
is
believe it.
literally to actually sleeping in a hammock and having it be comfortable. Like you have to angle your body. You know, when we normally get into a hammock, we get into it straight, like
Sure.
parallel, like we do in a bed. And that's okay for like a little bit of a chill. But all night, it's like not good back support, right? You're kind of curled
No.
up and it's like not good. If you just like angle your body, what happens is like the fabric gets more taut and it actually
Okay.
gets more flat across your back and feels more like a flat surface, like being on a bed.
Huh.
And you can even lay on your side that way, but it literally is just that tiny little hack. And while, you know, if you're used to sleeping in a bed, it's not going to be an identical experience, but it's a much more, in my opinion, sleepable experience than being in a hammock straight. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk about hammock hacks that are going to help us in the future. Please like and subscribe.
Well,
Okay.
they were used for 3 centuries aboard ships spanning from World War One,
Yeah.
World War Two, the Civil War, and the Vietnam War. So
Yeah,
they
makes
were a big
sense.
deal. And also, British prisons in the 19th century saved space and cut costs by replacing cots with hammocks. Wow.
Boy.
Yeah, and
Wow.
in the U.S., hammocks were used as both a cheap, practical solution for farmers and a leisure item for wealthy families.
Well,
Yes. Well,
There you go.
quite.
Using the Dedeker hack.
Wow.
So
Apparently.
that's all about hammocks. Jace, did you look anything else up?
I did. So I looked up Shebna getting replaced by Elkia, and I learned that we have potentially met Shebna before, in addition to Elkia.
Really?
We just
Oh.
didn't remember it. So,
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
Let
we
me
did
do
not.
my sort of like, like imagine we're sort of doing a flashback, right? Where
Okay.
like the screen gets all like wavy and blurry as we do
Yes.
this flashback to Second Kings chapter 18. Chapter 18.
Okay.
And this was when let's see. They were being attacked by the Assyrians, I believe. And this was the thing where the like group of Assyrians came up to the wall and a group of the Jews came out and they talked, and that's when they were like, hey, actually, could you like not speak in Hebrew and speak in Aramaic or, like whatever language theirs was. So here, I'll
Okay.
read you this section. So when they had called to the king, the other guys from Assyria, there came out to them Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, who was over the household, and Shebna, the scribe. So that's potentially this same
Okay.
person.
Okay.
It's not like 100% confirmed, but some theologians believe this is the same person. And Joah, the son of Asaph, the recorder. And that's the whole thing. They said to them, like, what? You think Egypt is going to come help you? Like, we're here. We're going to mess you up even if Egypt comes. They're not going to
Whoa.
come, though. And then it was Elkiah who spoke up and said, like, hey, don't speak in Hebrew here. Speak in your language. We can understand it. That's fine. Yeah, speak in the Syrian language, for we understand it, and don't speak with us in the Jews' language in the ears of the people that are on the wall.
right.
Which, like, maybe was a
Okay.
trick because he did want him to speak in Hebrew. I don't know. We debated that back then. Anyway, so apparently this might be him. And then I also learned that, yeah, I guess the deal was that Shebna was in this role that was higher than Elkiah's, and that he was kind of very entrenched and potentially was the leader of the party who favored the alliance with Egypt to help them against Assyria. And that,
Okay.
Yahweh wasn't into that. So anyway, that's kind of what I got there, is that we have met him before, and that apparently there was some drama from back then about him maybe, not doing the stuff that Yahweh wanted him to do, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's what I
Wow.
have.
Wow. Amazing. Wow. Okay. So important
Bunk Bible
information.
study would tell us.
Here's what we need to apply to Yale Divinity School.
Oh gosh, okay.
Okay. A personal statement.
Check. Easy. Done.
No.
Yes.
Easy.
No. Maybe for you.
We'll coach you through it, Don't worry about it.
Okay. Apprising the admissions committee of reasons for considering theological education, of formative influences in making this decision, of vocational objectives, and of ways in which the divinity school's resources can prepare applicants to meet their stated objectives. Okay. That's step one. Personal statement.
Okay, listen, we are I doubt any of us are gonna like become pastor people.
Emily, that's not what they're saying. They're not saying that this is for you to become a pastor. You state your own objectives.
Yeah,
okay?
what are your objectives?
My objective is
To make a podcast
I don't even know,
about
like
it.
To freaking finally understand this book.
to be funny on a podcast.
Number two, we need an academic writing sample. I can provide that. No worries.
Yes, we know.
We need 3 letters of recommendation. Now this is funny
patrons,
because
they got this
Yeah.
no,
covered.
this is funny.
Daniel,
because
you write one, John Michael writes the other, and then we'll get another person.
Okay, so first of all, it's funny and ironic that there's a typo in this section on the page.
Okay.
Second of which, 2 of those should address academic potential specifically. So we need at least 2 people willing to talk about that.
Okay, what if, instead of trying to get some like big deal person to write a letter of recommendation for us, what if instead we just overwhelm them with, if all of our listeners just wrote one letter of recommendation and it's just like a pile of letters on their desk recommending us? How could they say no to that, right?
Okay, well, there's
I
more
bet
though.
they
We need more. We need more.
Could.
We need
Okay.
transcripts, of course.
I haven't been to school in a while. Jace really hasn't been to school in a while.
Well, neither have I. We got transcripts though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
to
somewhere.
show that we have been to a school.
Yeah.
So
I did
we
very well in my conservatory
yes,
education.
I also did very well. Like no problems there.
I guess all of us kind of had the same sort of education, which was like BFA
Completely
all over the
unrelated.
place. Wait,
Yeah,
Jace, did you
unrelated.
get a BM? Did you get a BM?
A B Muse is what they call it, but yes.
Okay.
I did
Mine was
get
just a
one of
BA,
those.
not a BFA.
Oh, I got a BFA. Well,
Wow,
we have 3
we have
different.
Wow.
We do.
Different. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm envisioning this as a group application also, by the way, that like it's not
Oh yeah,
individual. We're
it's either
applying
one or none.
as drunk
Yeah.
Bible study.
Yeah, no, that's
so
in
I'm
all of
gonna
our
be the weak
applications.
link, and you
Yeah.
two are gonna pull me up.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So okay, we also need to submit a resume. We need to make sure that we're native in English. Yeah, whatever.
Great.
And then it's just like application fees and done.
Okay. But
Easy.
did you find out the tuition for Yale Divinity School? How much do we have to raise in our Kickstarter?
Fees. Okay, does anyone have any guesses?
I'm going to guess
Like 30,000
And this is-
30,000
okay, hold on.
semester per semester.
The
per semester.
hold on.
Per
Just hold on. Let me tell you
per year.
what they have. The numbers they have listed are for the 9-month academic year, so like 2 semesters.
Okay. Answer.
What are your guesses?
Survey said. I said 30K per semester.
30,000. I said 30,000 per year.
Emily's correct. She's
Wow,
on the
okay.
money exactly. 30,000
Okay.
per year.
Okay. All right.
So with 3 people, that's almost $100,000 for 1 year of Yale Seminary,
Okay.
not including room and board, not including
Not
anything else. But
including- wow.
you know,
Just
we're
live in a
adults, so we
house.
figure that out.
But but here's the thing, is the Yale Seminary like really shooting for the moon? Maybe we need to do some more research on seminaries to see, because maybe in the world of seminaries, Yale's like fine, but it's not amazing.
I am learning. Okay, they are teaching me about their exchange programs,
Ooh.
and there is one in Singapore, actually.
Cool.
Okay.
You know, a cool place to be. Trinity Theological College.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Let's
It's probably
do it.
not any cheaper, really. But
I would think it would be a little bit cheaper.
maybe a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, Singapore, I feel like, has better support for education than the United States does, so that would help.
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Clearly, there's more research to be done on all of
Well, I'm
this.
glad we found out all that
Wow, well, that was a lot of information about seminary school, and I don't know what's going to happen with that. I'm a little nervous and scared about it, because generally when you two put your mind to something, it happens, so we will see what occurs there. But yeah, thank you all for joining us for Drunk Bible Study Bonus Edition today, and we will see you next week. Can't wait.